up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Gary Russell Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Gary Russell Jr. confirms an altercation with Terrence Crawford that has a big buzz around the social media, and this thing has been, jumping around. So I gotta counterpunch it. Okay, the WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr., 31-1-18, dropped a bombshell that is buzzing, of course, around. During an interview with the Barbershop Conversations, the talented Southpaw champion claimed that there was an intense exchange between himself and WBO welterweight champion Terrence Bud Crawford, which now is 36-0 with 27 knockouts. That Russell claims that the WBO champion had to go to the hospital to get checked out afterwards. He said he definitely did get his shit split. Don't get it twisted. The shit is definitely real. Russell goes into details about the situation that took place back in 2008 during the Olympic trials. He argues that the top pound-for-pound fighter didn't like the results of sparring session with fellow participant. According to Russell, things went southpaw after Crawford asked the Southpaw champion from Maryland for his thoughts. He says, "We boxers were supposed to hit and not get hit. He was moving, but he was moving with a purpose. So he didn't like what I said, got a frown on his face, yelling and all that. I'm not going to go back and forth with another grown-ass man." So he got his shit split. It was only one punch thrown. It was only my punch thrown. And he got shipped the fuck off to the sports med to go get his shit checked out. Wow. He says, "We can do a round two." He says, "Now this story is far from over." Okay? Russell says, and made it clear to the WBO champion, that if he feels slighted about him speaking the truth, then they can settle it in the ring. Wow. If Terrence feels some type of way about it, if he don't got a fight, I'll fight him. He can get that shit back. What's up? If he's mad about me getting honest about some shit that really the fuck happened, tell Bob to give me a call and we'll make that fight happen. We can redeem, so he can redeem himself. Wow. So, back in 2008, an altercation, this is a real fight, where the exchange of words and Gary Russell knocked him out. Or got, or split his jaw or broke his jaw, okay? And he had to go to the hospital. So, a lot of things happen in altercations. I remember I just had a video. I just did a video today about Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins. I think that was yesterday. And a physical altercation did happen between the two. Now if it did happen, okay, this is boxing, you hit, not get hit, but he said he thrown one punch. Well, if that's the case, he caught him. This is boxing. It's fighting. You can get caught with one punch and be out of commission. Okay? Now, I'm dying to hear what Terrence Crawford has to say, but of course, there's always one side of the story. I like both fighters. Gary Russell Jr. is fearless. He's been talking about going to 140 and all that. Now he's saying he wants to come to 147. And I understand why he's saying that. He's saying that because he can't get fights where he's at. And I think Gary Russell Jr., he has that Timothy Bradley mentality, like he'll fight anyone. If Mikey Garcia on this channel didn't already have the nickname of the Badger, I would have gave it to him, because the Badger, is fearless, small, but will fight anyone. I think that's Gary Russell. Gary Russell's been looking for a fight, and he's pretty much the one that did the whistle blow on how Al Heyman does things over there. However, back to this altercation in 2008. That's been a long time ago. Okay, fighters, people grow as fighters or whatever. Round two, he says he can get it. It's really up to Terrence Crawford now. So again, I will give you guys more information as time permits about what Terrence Crawford has to say. What's his counterpunch? You guys tell me what you think about Gary Russell saying he split Terrence Crawford's you-know-what. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.